Hey, this is Class Creatives, and in this video we'll discuss how Pixar Studios' Inside Out series is created to gross over $1 billion worldwide to become Pixar's highest grossing movie of all time. We'll discuss how the Oscar-winning animations were created for its sequel, and how the franchise's latest spin-off, Dream Productions, continues the storyline inside Riley's dream-making imagination. Many of our students are curious about the software and techniques that were used to bring these award-winning animations to life for the highly anticipated franchise, which is making a comeback in an all-new Tween Dreams series. Dream Productions' latest trailer is looking very promising and picking up where the previous animated features left off. In this video, we'll discuss how these award-winning animations were made at Pixar Studios, paired with state-of-the-art tools, integrating hand-drawn 2D pre-production, the character design workflow, and the keyframe animation process. Pixar began the character design process by considering the wide range of human emotions in existence, working directly with scientists and neurologists. Initially, they created tons of characters in the human mind that it started to become confusing. So they decided to simplify it with anger, fear, sadness, disgust, and joy. Character design started with shapes and overall feelings. Fear was like an immobile stick that couldn't move. For joy, they thought of a spark and champagne bubbles with open arms and a glowing personality. Anger was rigid and immovable, while sadness was very somber and depressed. Several designs were created to capture the mood and posture of sadness. Even though her core emotion would be sadness, she still had to have emotions like being glad or happy, and they had to entertain how they would look on the character by blending emotions. Disgust took on the most designs of all the characters. They struggled with the idea of if the character would be disgusting or disgusted. Unfortunately, a disgusting-looking character would not work for natural appeal that the audience would be naturally drawn to. Capturing several reactions of artists acting disgusted oftentimes resulted in the initial gesture and design for what would become the final character who constantly is disgusted. A fun fact is that in the Japanese version of the movie, broccoli was replaced with bell peppers, a more despised food in Japan. For part 2, new characters such as envy contrasted embarrassment by being the smallest of the emotions. Character designers struggled initially with how she's not likable. Several designs were created, but eventually a drawing of a character with really big eyes caught the attention of the director, and they decided to go with the concept of the character being like a sad, wet puppy, like a dog wanting your food. She initially was concepted to have tiny ballet flat shoes, which were changed to tiny boots to make her feet more proportional to her big head during late stages in production. Animators had the unique opportunity to create very extreme performances with emotional characters, while the scenes that took place in reality were more grounded and based on realistic video reference. Classic 2D animation inspired the movements of the pushed sequences, which would help contrast the style of the two worlds. Bending and breaking joints were techniques applied to help give the 3D characters elements of more classic 2D styled animation. For many of the original characters, such as Riley's mom, the 3D character sculpts and rigs needed to all be redone as they were made 10 years prior from the original movie. This process required teamwork from the director, producer, art director, artist, and production designer to ensure that the updated character matched the original designs with an updated look. Once the updated mom was modeled and rigged, her rig was also used for other female adult characters in the film. Quick pause to tell you a little bit about Class Creatives. They offer a top-ranked game design curriculum online. All courses are taught by industry veterans with experience from studios such as Disney, Naughty Dog, Insomniac, Google, and more. Learn the entire process of animation and motion capture using Autodesk Maya by following the methods used to create Inside Out's animation. The full AAA animation workflow is explained in detail in their Masterclass courses. Learn professional workflows such as 3D character modeling utilizing industry standard software such as ZBrush, Autodesk Maya, and Substance Painter. The entire character design workflow is covered from start to finish in their Masterclass offerings. Extensive character rigging courses teach the process of how to custom rig characters for all of your project needs. Land that new job, receive higher pay, and stand out from the competition. The great thing about class creatives is the ability to learn at your own pace and your own schedule. Get started today for free with the link in the description. Although the imaginative characters were pushed to extreme movements, animators still utilize video reference acting to act out their shots and animate acting details in the 3D character performances. Even simple design characters contain over 4,000 controls for animators to give as much performance detail as possible. Similar to internships with Disney Animation, animators at Pixar will train and create acting tests during their internship using several characters from production to hone in their craft. They'll create unique storytelling situations for the characters and gain valuable experience and feedback from leads and veteran animators. Shots can range from physicality-based motions that convey weight to pantomime shots telling unique storylines with gear changes to show genuine personality acting changes. As simple as a walk might seem, capturing personality and weight with a genuine set of emotions layered on top of the cycle can be an extremely important addition to an animator's demonstration of abilities. These shots are not only useful for animators' personal demo reels for future career roles, but also are critical to helping them stand out during their internship, showcasing their range of acting abilities with 3D characters to land full-time positions at the studio. So capturing a unique set of acting abilities with various types of characters and situations is really important to help open doors for further opportunities.
Do you think I should trim my mustache?
Let me see. Maybe the left side.
So it's drooping?
Well, it's just off kilter.
Yeah.
Pixar movies are planned out with very detailed storyboards for storytelling as well as shot planning prior to animation. Working from the storyboards, a 3D set and 3D character are placed together. Rough layout animation is created to rough in the shot in 3D. Motion capture-based cameras are used to block in shots as well as for the final animation. This technique has been used in several video game cinematics and Disney animation features. Cinematography for both worlds were targeted to have realism such as flares and grain with an attempt to have a real film look. Camera and staging are much similar to a live-action set, but done with environments and characters in 3D. Shots will be composed in 3D simultaneously while the editor is updating the final script for the movie so that the scene can be iterated to perfection. For new characters such as anxiety, tightening up shutter angles allowed the focus to get a lot deeper and sharper. However, when anxiety hits in the real world, focus goes extremely shallow and the world drops away to contrast visually to the viewer to sense more emotion to the situations happening in the shots. Shots with backgrounds vibrating during the panic attack included lots of depth of field, flaring, and overexposing the light to flood in the light source to heighten the emotional sequence. These techniques, coupled with warm and cool light blending, helped show the difference in intensity of the situation. Riley's World targeted live-action cinematography with imperfections in handheld camera movements with an anamorphic film aspect ratio. This would allow more characters on screen as well, which was challenging for the animation team. The Mind World camera was more virtual or perfect, with a 1930s style camera that feels very choreographed with more precise movement. For the character Joy, artists had a particular unique challenge with her lighting and rendering as she was the light source in the scene. Having her light on the ground would act as her shadow. Joy casting light on characters not only contrasted in color, but conveyed how Joy's emotion was impacting the character on screen. Complex shots, such as the headquarter and consoles creating additional light sources, had to be taken into careful consideration for lighting and camera staging.
But this coward is going to survive.
Storyboards are critical in Pixar movies. They serve to help with storytelling, timing, and pacing of the movie, help plan out the camera angles in the layout stages, and also help aid the animators with their animation performances. The fact that so many of the storyboards closely resemble the movie's final renders shows how carefully Pixar plans their films, leaving no shot to chance. We can also see how the animators have pushed expressions, poses, and movements to enhance the rough sketches seen in the storyboarding phase to push the emotions to the highest level of detail possible. Here we can see the critical stages of production where the rough model and sets are placed with rough camera movement for layout. From there, the shot will progress to rough animation, and once animation is approved, it will move on to cloth sim and hair sim to further enhance the animation character performances. Lighting will then bring that extra touch of magic to the characters to further polish the shot for the final render where everything comes together in the final shot. For complicated animated shots with multiple characters on screen, animators had to approach all movements together, as notes from the director would impact all characters on screen versus only focusing on animating characters in the center of the shot. Some animators will block in their ideas in 2D before posing the 3D character to explore performance possibilities. Staying true to the realistic hockey movements, as well as how Riley had her out-of-control moments, were a challenge to blend the two types of movements to create a seamless, believable shot. Animators would animate from 6 different camera angles so that the cinematography team could pick the best angles for each shot. Well, that about wraps up this video on how Pixar's Inside Out series was created and why it has become one of the biggest feature film animation franchises of all time. All departments work together to bring something new to each installment. The combination of video reference, mixing 2D and 3D workflows, along with advancements in 3D cinematography to enhance the editorial creation process, helped create one of Pixar and Disney's most watched franchises to life. The newest entry in the series looks better than ever. Will you be watching on premiere day? Let us know your thoughts in the comments.
That was the chair.
And don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.
Perfect.